Welcome to From the Pilot Seat. Join me as we explore real aviation stories, lessons learned, and incredible flying machines. If you love flying or want to learn, hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.
Carrying the largest payload in the U.S. Air Force inventory, the B-1 Lancer is the backbone of America's long-range bomber force. This aircraft is commonly called the Bone. The Supersonic Bone is designed to deliver massive quantities of precision and non-precision weapons against any adversary, anywhere in the world, at any time. And one of the select few to fly this elite machine is 28-year-old Captain David Grasso.
But this is my office. I routinely sit in here for over 12 hours on combat sorties. It's just a dream to sit up here, and I'm not a big fan of paperwork, so when you get inside the airplane, you don't have to answer phone calls or email, so it's actually a great job.
The B-1 was initially developed in the 1970s as a replacement for the B-52 bomber. Several B-1 prototypes were built, including the B-1A. The B-1B Lancer is an improved variant with a top speed of Mach 1.25.
My first flight in the B-1, the thing that blew me away the most was flying low level and how fast the jet would actually accelerate when you lit the afterburners. Within a couple of seconds, you can go from 0.8 Mach to going supersonic just by lighting the afterburners.
What's even more impressive for David is how close the B-1 can fly to something that all pilots fear, the ground.
I can fly through the mountains with the terrain following system on at 200 feet, 600 miles an hour, at night, in the weather, and the jet it'll fly itself 200 feet above the highest peak, and it'll follow the terrain precisely. And that's a great advantage when you're going to combat, because no one's going to want to follow you down there through the mountains because they don't have that ability to let the radar fly their jet for them.
Another unique feature of the B-1 is its variable wing design.
We've got the movable wings, which we've got a lever here to actually sweep the wings back. And that's the real difference that we have other than other aircraft.
The forward wing setting is used for takeoffs and landings, providing a fast climb and descent rate, which means the Bone can use a shorter runway than the B-52. The swept back wing setting is the main combat configuration and is typically used during high subsonic and supersonic flight.
Maneuverability of the jet is really enhanced when the wings are back. You have the ability to turn tighter, you can pull more Gs. We're basically an on-call cast platform. We'll loiter for 6 hours in country, waiting for anything to kick off on the ground. They'll call in the coordinates on where they want the weapons, what the target is, what type of weapon they want, and then we'll deliver that weapon right where they want it.
In David's total of 69 combat missions, his worst moment came not from enemy action, but from the forces of nature.
There's some weather coming up, and it was night. The next thing I know is the brightest light I've ever seen in my life. A lightning bolt attached itself to the nose of the jet, just a big snap, and then I couldn't see anything for about 25-30 seconds because it was so bright. The first thing I could see was all the engine instruments were all at zero, and they all turned back on, so the electrics in the jet kind of shut down for a second, turned back on, and that really made me realize how tough the B-1 was.
All in a day's work for the young man with the supersonic office.
Motivation to fly the B-1 each day is to serve my country, and then also just, it's an amazing aircraft, and it's just a dream to actually go out there and fly it.
If you love flying or want to learn, hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.